This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. And we know the assignment. We really know the assignment. Yesterday I got a message from an individual that said that we need to ramp up our protest. So let's say you get 5 million people to come to Washington, D.C. and protest Donald Trump. Then what? How long do you stay? Do you keep coming back? Now, many of our organizations out here in the DMV that people are throwing stones at have sent people back day after day after day. And then what? You exhaust those people? They have to pay bills, take care of children, and other responsibilities too. It's not enough to just breeze into town for 3 days and get out. And while we're sitting here in the DMV fighting this fight of the DC takeover, you go out of town, get on the internet, and put up a YouTube video and talk about the 3 days you've been here. Let me tell you something about activism. Activism takes sacrifice. You have to be willing to die for your cause. That's what activism is. It isn't about getting on YouTube and talking about the latest thing that's going to oust Trump, and all of a sudden now my cause has come around so I can talk about impeachment. This is some lazy ass bullshit. Now, I have been a civil rights activist since 1995. Formerly with the American Indian Movement, allied with the Black Panthers. And y'all are sitting here telling me that I need to get the fuck out here and get people out here and do more? This is your first rodeo, not mine. But I digress. Let me tell you something else about myself. I've done this work for many years behind the scenes, and did not like my likeness on camera or on video because I'm Native American and I was part of a movement that believed in the old ways. I didn't feel a need to get out here and do this until now because my personal property and family are in jeopardy. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate every single solitary person getting out there protesting. But 9 times out of 10, those people were going to do it anyway. It wasn't some organization that brought them out there. It was DC residents. And lately, it's been Chicago residents. So people need to stop taking credit for other people's work, first and foremost. Because we have been building this resistance, some of us, since 2016. And we don't need any direction from anyone. What's missing from this movement is sacrifice. And I hear everybody sitting there talking all this shit about peaceful protest, but not what they're willing to do to save this democracy. And this goes all the way from every member of Congress, elected official, judge, governor, Democrat, or Republican. All I hear is somebody found the fuck out. Or somebody isn't doing this. Or somebody's messaging ain't that. Some of us don't have the luxury of waiting until 2026, until the rest of you get your shit together. I'm not here because I'm worried about me. I'm worried that you didn't prepare. But maybe I should stop worrying. Because we have been trying to tell all of you, even the newcomers to the civil rights movement, that you have it all wrong. You think that Donald Trump is going to dispatch the National Guard, incorporate law enforcement agencies all over the United States in blue cities, and not fire a shot in the street once he gets a chance? This is a gear up to exactly what happened in Nazi Germany, but you don't see it because you're so wrapped up in your own rhetoric, your own clickbait, your own party, and your own bullshit. He is about to wipe you off the face of the earth. Every single Democrat who is remaining silent right now, getting AIPAC money, insider trading, that has made millions of dollars off of being reelected. Every Democrat I'm talking about. That's why they stay silent. Every last one of you, if you were about sacrificing this country, would resign right now. I am so upset that David Hogg was cast out of the DNC because he absolutely had the answer to this problem. Every one of you who is not doing your job right now should leave. If not, you should be prepared to be driven out of Washington, D.C. And I'm talking soon. The reason I believe this is going to happen is if you compile the high price of things. GM has just shut down numerous plants since yesterday, bringing the unemployment rate up in many cities. People without Medicare, people without Medicaid, people without jobs, kids without lunch programs, SNAP being cut. All these things combined are going to be a culmination for a revolution. Because people right now think that they're safe. And people all over the internet have been telling them different. You got farmers asking for blue state, donor states that Donald Trump stole money from to give them grants to keep their farms going. And if they shout loud enough, Donald Trump's going to give the money to them. But for the rest of us blue states that paid your fucking tab while you voted for Donald Trump, we have to take care of ourselves. And we will. And we'll be okay. But what will you do when you tell us in Washington, D.C., we need to get more people out here? Or in Chicago, we need to get more people out there? You don't get to tell us shit. Because we warned you about this. And we warned you back in 2016 that you needed to be talking to the people in your state. You needed to be running Democrats for office so that we didn't get to this point. But you did not do that. So here's where we are. This is not an ethnic cleansing of brown and black people. This is the eugenics of the Trump era. The same eugenics that Adolf Hitler employed. Except this time, Donald Trump doesn't have to have SS officers go out and snatch disable people out of their homes, and snatch gay people out of their homes, and snatch black people out of their homes. Because we allowed this process, and we allowed certain Democrats to stymie this particular regime from coming to power. Because we said that's not going to happen. I don't know how many times I was told that before 2016. People aren't stupid enough to vote for Donald Trump. Then he got elected. Then they said, oh, we're going to survive this. After Joe Biden, they said he's not going to get elected again. And he did. And I predicted that too. And the reason why I knew this is because too many white people wait until it does affect them in order to act. But we're beyond that now. We need to get beyond who is a white supremacist and who is not, and get to self-preservation. Because if you want to live over the next 3 months, and I'm saying 3 months, and like Chris Murphy said, we have days, not weeks and months, then you better figure out a different strategy than peaceful protest. Now, your elected officials and people that want to keep their YouTube channels are going to keep telling you that you need to be peaceful, remain peaceful, and all of that in certain cities. Because they're getting paid, not by you as the taxpayer, but everyone else to say that. When we talk about peaceful protest, we're not talking about the 1960s. We're not talking about the Jim Crow era. We are talking about a time when the Supreme Court is bought and paid for by big business and all the interests that want to make you disappear. And the President of the United States has absolutely no inclination to hear what people of color have to say. If you look back at John F. Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson, there was a Supreme Court in place that was in the process of at least trying to represent the people and respect the United States Constitution. There were political decisions that had to be made based on the success and the prosperity of this nation and everybody that was here, whether they liked it or not. That's why you had voting rights laws and civil rights laws. That's why you had the Emancipation Proclamation. Not because white people were supreme and they gave people that look like me their freedom or raped us in boarding schools off of reservations. Individuals who had forethought decided that as long as these people are here and they can contribute, then we need to include them in the American dream. On this day, the American dream for everyone who looks like me is dead. And some of you who don't look like me, but you still think that this is all going to blow over and it's all going to be okay. And if you get 10,000 people on the street of this city or that, it's going to be alright. Once Donald Trump puts his plan in action, just like Hitler did. And he can militarize cities. It only takes one city to be the successful prototype for a bunch of cowards among us to bow down and say, I'm not going out there. I'm not going to get hurt. I'm not fighting for my country. And the question becomes, when they start firing on American citizens, how many of us have to die before the rest of you decide, you know what, this is a revolution? Or are you going to go home and wait for the jackboots on the sidewalk and the knock at your door? It might take a little time, but it's going to happen. And to our elected officials that think you're getting over or you're getting by and you go along to get along, just like Herman Cain that died of COVID at a Trump super spreader around 2020 or so. Black man, so pro-Trump. Never once did they mention his name. Not once after he died. And Donald Trump, to this day, does not even know who the fuck he was. But yet he gave his life for this asshole. And if you're in Congress right now, and you're not doing the same thing as people like Robert Garcia, Jamie Raskin, Greg Cesar, Jasmine Crockett, let me see, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Presley, AOC, and many others. You need to get your act together. And at this point, it doesn't matter if you do, because you're going to be gone. Not gone, dead. Because once Donald Trump is finished with using you to make us bow down, he is going to exterminate you. Now, I didn't like the use of strongmen in a book that I read. I don't remember the author. But she said the time you need to panic is when people start getting disappeared. That time, we're way beyond that. And still you motherfuckers are sitting here waiting for a constitutional crisis. Really? I made a comment on another content creator's page that our ancestors, especially the ones of color in America, were what I call the equalizer. Right now, most of us are the fucking walking dead. This is sad. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get this shit over with. Now you have to decide. Many of you have already sacrificed your children at COVID, JFK, MAGA, and all that other shit. Now Democrats are sacrificing their children to political anarchy and oligarchy. Not only do we need to consider what's happening here to us, but we need to consider how the world views us. And right now, they view us the way they do the Nazis in Germany. And if you're wondering if the general strike worked, there is now a worldwide strike on all American goods. So for those of you who didn't think that would work, it's absolutely working. Because right now we can't get goods into the United States that we need. Soon, the shelves of the grocery stores are going to be bare. What will you do then? Say peacefully protest while your kids starve? Because that's where we're going. We don't need 20,000 more people in the street right now. In every city throughout the United States. We need a few good men willing to do the right thing. This is the John Brown Alliance, and like he did, when you see something wrong, you need to do something right.